This is the sound of peace. The sound that some of us human beings could not understand. And for that, they tend to shut the sound off. While many of us realize that a sea without a mangrove is like a tree without any roots, there are still some who just ignore the nature's beneath. The forest that gives us air to breathe covers only 30% of our planet, and mangrove, of what is left now, is just a small part of it. Malaysia, a beautiful country with a land area of 330,000 square kilometers. Within this land area, only 2% are mangrove forests. The state of Johor holds 3 Ramsar sites: Sungai Pulai, Pulau Kukup, and Tanjung Piai. These 3 locations were formally announced as wetlands of international importance under Ramsar Convention 1971 on 31st January 2003. Among these 3 sites, 2 are currently under threat of extinction. The 2 are Pulau Kukup and Tanjung Piai. The sites are gazetted under the National Parks Johor Corporation Enactment 1989. Tanjung Piai is a cape in Pontian district. It is the southernmost point of Peninsula and thus the most southern point of mainland Eurasia. While Pulau Kukup is a mangrove island located at about 1 kilometer offshore from the 150 years old fishing village of Kukup in Pontian district. Both of these mangrove forests are currently battling against the threat of gradual extinction, mainly caused by laid-up and anchored vessels nearby. Pulau Kukup and Tanjung Piai are located along the Strait of Malacca. This strait is a narrow 890-kilometer stretch of water between the Peninsula Malaysia and Indonesian island of Sumatra. According to a report by Marine Department Malaysia, in 2016, the number of vessels reporting under strait wrap stood at 83,740 vessels. This big movement of vessels passing through the Strait of Malacca has increased significantly by 14% since 2011. While according to a study conducted by the Maritime Institute of Malaysia, MIMA, the number of vessels is estimated to increase to 123,000 vessels in 2024, a huge increment of 46% higher in 8 years' time. In spite of having these enormous economic activities, the movement of the vessels have made the water become rough, which then causes erosion of landmass and destruction of mangroves at both Pulau Kukup and Tanjung Piai. Plus, the laid-up vessels and vessels waiting to enter ports that are illegally anchored within the Pulau Kukup and Tanjung Piai area pose a potential threat from accidental, operational, or intentional discharges of oily waste, garbage, and sewage. If this continues, and with the predicted statistic in hand, the number of mangrove trees will see a significant reduction in years to come. It is estimated that if no proper international restriction or rules are put into action to control these huge vessels' activities, Malaysia will have to face the risk of gradually losing both mangrove forests within 20 years' time. A loss that will certainly create a lot of negative impact to the future generation. The world will event the extinction of half or maybe all 54 true mangrove species that are found on Pulau Kukup. As Pulau Kukup is categorized as an important bird and biodiversity area for Malaysia by BirdLife International, the extinction threat of this island will risk the life of vulnerable and endangered birds. While in Tanjung Piai, continuous coastal erosion and pollution created gradual destruction to the mangrove forest and intertidal mudflats around the area. Just like Pulau Kukup, Tanjung Piai is also facing the risk of losing 26 true mangrove species. This disaster will destroy the habitat of endangered and threatened mammals. The threat is not only spread among the coastal and marine life, but it has also impacted the local economy, fishing industry, as well as adversely affect the tourism sector. Based on this chart by the Johor National Park Corporation, JNPC, the number of visitors to both national parks has never once achieved its target in 5 consecutive years. This was mainly due to the destruction of the park's image as tourism attraction. Many strategies have been executed by the authorized parties to reduce the risk of disaster. This includes the support from the state government of Johor in funding various plans to save both Pulau Kukup and Tanjung Piai. Some of the vital strategies are sandbags, mangrove replanting, and wave breaker. These temporary moves managed to reduce the risk but not totally stopping it. A major prevention plan was suggested to assist in controlling the risk further. The action to gain the identification and designation of particularly sensitive sea areas (PSSAs) in the Straits of Malacca was then took place. The identified areas will include Pulau Kukup and Tanjung Piai. Associated protective measures (APMS) are proposed in these areas. The two are an area to be avoided (ATBA) and a mandatory no anchoring area (MNAA). These measures are aimed at preventing damage to the wetlands ecosystem, sustaining fisheries, and ensuring the sustainability of local tourism. The need of international involvement and restrictions such as PSSAs is vital in ensuring the existence of Pulau Kukup and Tanjung Piai for the future generation to come. However, the approval needs to be obtained soon as possible as time is of the essence. Any delays, then the environment will surely pay the price. More people are starting to realize the huge importance of mangroves, yet these habitats are still vanishing at an astonishing rate. To prioritize these vital ecosystems is to minimize the impacts of climate change. We humans should solve problems not by making them worse, but by making them better.